Two friends in a movie. Two friends on a movie. Two friends in 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 a movie. With Matt Sixto. With Sixto and Matt. With Matt Sixto. With Sixto and Matt. With Matt Sixto. Matt Sixto. Matt Sixto. Two friends in a movie. Two friends in a
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hi.
La la la.
Hi.
So
Yeah.
we instantly decided to disappoint our audience last week
Instantly.
when the week prior we said every other Tuesday you'll be getting a new podcast,
Amen.
and every other Tuesday passed, no podcast came out.
Listen, I gotta tell you something.
You know, they gave us their trust and we let them down.
Yeah. That's how it goes. Sometimes.
We're just bad boyfriends.
I mean, we cook, we clean.
Sometimes,
Is that like
though.
toxic? Like we're like toxic boyfriends. It's like we do something good and then everything else is bad.
Like we get on the roll, we're like, yeah, you love your relationship now. And then they're like, fuck, he stood me up again.
Motherfucker.
Well, anyways, we're back
That's right,
on
motherfuckers.
this schedule, which is every other. We didn't specify what other Tuesday would be. We just said every other Tuesday.
Right.
So this Tuesday is
The other
Tuesday.
That's right.
Dumbasses. So just because you misunderstand, don't put that on me. It's true, man. I'm the good guy
I
here.
don't think that's how that works.
That's how it works.
You're not the good guy, number one.
Listen,
Yeah.
I am the good guy.
Okay. Billie
And-
Eilish.
No, she's the bad guy.
You're
Like Razor
Billie Eilish.
Ramon.
Like who?
Razor Ramon. I wish I was Billie Eilish. She's fucking.
Yeah.
She's 22. She's got millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
She's multi-talented.
Yeah.
I don't have one talent. She has multiple. So
I also wish you were Billie Eilish so I could date you for real.
yo, I wouldn't be friends with you.
You wouldn't even fucking talk to me.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, yo, get this guy away from me.
I also
Because I would have guys that did that.
Yeah, and also I would have to be like 20 years younger because otherwise it'll be creepy.
And even then, you'd be 20 years too old.
Welcome to Two Friends in a Movie. We're going to do Friends in a Movie where Maddie and I, every week that we show up, talk about a movie.
Talk about a movie when
'Cause
we're
we love
here.
'em. That's right. I am Sixto.
I am Matthew.
That's right. And
True.
and our accents are sexy as fuck. Way sexier than the Boston
Yeah,
accent.
Boston can go fuck themselves.
Wow.
All right?
All of Boston?
All of Boston.
Wow.
With your...
Not my friend
silly-
Carrie. I got a friend. My friend Carrie lives in Boston.
I
She's
don't give a
alright.
shit about your friend Carrie.
Come on, she's cool.
I don't give a shit about her.
All right.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
So today,
Yo, don't
We have-
even talk about today.
we have a movie for you.
Don't talk about the movie
Why? That's what
because
we
I got to
do.
start saying something special.
You have to say the word something special, or you have something special to say.
I got something special to say. I got something special to say.
What's that?
I
Are
need
you,
to.
Wait. Let me... You're not going to propose, right?
Well.
Because that'd be a big no.
Well.
I just wanted to stop you before more embarrassment happens.
I have to make amends with somebody that has been a fan of this show the entire time.
Is it Carrie?
And we haven't given him a shout out, not even once. And that's my boy Edgar Avalo, who,
Huh?
by the way, sells this podcast more than we do.
Does he live in Boston?
He lives in New Jersey.
Does he sound anything like he's from Boston?
Nah, not even.
Well, then he's the man. Yo, Eddie, special shout out from your boy Matt of the Two Friends in a Movie podcast with Matt and Sixto.
I also want to give a special shout out to my boy Justin Cardi, who I haven't spoken to in a lot of years, and we got back in touch, which has been very nice. Amazing artist. And he's been listening to the podcast, so shout out to him.
Yeah.
And to Andy Sabas and Nika, because might as well since we're here.
All right. Can we move on with the podcast?
Yes. Now that we've done the shout outs,
Now that we said the word special announcement
special situation.
Today we have a movie for you.
Yes.
And the real reason why you've tuned in to this podcast
Right.
is to hear our opinions on these movies.
Damn right.
This was a Netflix movie that, let me tell you, is essentially Long Island. I mean, this is a Long Island movie. If there ever was a Long Island movie that had nothing to do with Long Island, it stars Jerry Seinfeld,
Yeah.
and Amy Schumer,
Yeah.
who are very famous Long Islanders.
Wait. It doesn't start.
It's stars though. They're the stars.
Okay, go ahead.
They're not the stars.
I would say the stars are Jerry Seinfeld and your favorite comedian of all time.
Tom Green.
No, not fucking Tom Green. You know who I'm talking about. Melissa McCarthy.
Oh.
Your favorite fucking comedian.
Did you see how I purposely omitted that?
Yeah, because she's your favorite.
And
You want to give her special treatment.
I think she might also be from Long Island. I'm not positive.
I'm
on
gonna
that one.
doubt. I call bullshit on that.
I know Seinfeld and Schumer are. So this is a movie that went straight to Netflix from Jerry Seinfeld. And if you're a suburban white person, you have to be fan of Jerry Seinfeld.
I mean, I'm not a suburban white person. I'm a city brown person that is an immigrant, and I still love Jerry.
I mean,
Seinfeld.
you could love him, but it's not required.
Okay, I got you.
Get me?
I got you. I didn't know there were requirements.
There
by
is
race.
requirements.
What are my requirements by race? That I steal shit and cook really good food and I can fuck really well?
I guess.
Okay, I take those.
I just know my requirements. They don't tell me yours. Those are your guys. You figure that out.
Okay.
So this is a movie about Kellogg's and Post and their war against each other back in the day.
Is that how you describe this movie?
That's what the essences of it is.
Is that what you think the essence of this movie
Yeah,
is?
what do you think?
I think we're on the different boats here.
Or maybe you watched the wrong movie.
I think the essence of this movie is this is a very silly movie about the creation of a very specific food product.
Well, that's part of it, but it's the race between the two companies. Because whoever comes out with it first is going to win. So this is about the creation of the Pop-Tart.
That's right.
And how it gets to be, except this isn't really the story about how Pop-Tarts really came to
No.
be. The story has very little truths about it.
Yep.
There's a couple little facts that they use that are true.
Yep.
But majority of the movie is false. But at the end of the movie, Jerry Seinfeld works for Kellogg's. His boss, Jim Gaffigan, isn't the smartest guy in the world. So Jerry Seinfeld kind of takes control of the company. And Amy Schumer, who plays the bad guy, kind of, works for Post, the competitor.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically fighting each other to come out with the Pop-Tart first. And many different things happens along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarity ensues.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kellogg's wins.
When you say hilarity ensues,
Yes.
do you mean like a chuckle here and there?
A chuckle, that's kind of all you got with this movie, was a chuckle here and there.
Yeah.
Like I said to you in private, this reminded me of kind of what they wanted to do with the Weird Al movie, where
Except that one was amazing.
it was very funny. I'm just saying this is the same idea. Is
I
take
think-
a real fact and then create this fictional story around
Right.
this one real fact.
I feel like this movie felt like if Barbie, like somebody saw Barbie,
Mm-hmm.
somebody being Jerry Seinfeld saw Barbie, and then he saw the Weird Al movie. And he was like, oh, you can do this now? And he just made this movie.
He's like, oh, here's a colorful fake story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind
People
of
love color,
ab-
and people like fake stories.
about a product that everybody seems to love. Except, if we're being honest, I don't even fucking like Pop-Tarts.
You know, I have a confession to make.
Who's that?
I've never ever had a Pop-Tart.
I think I've eaten a Pop-Tart once.
My kids used to eat Pop-Tarts. I've never had one.
Yeah.
I don't like warm fruit. I don't like warm fruit.
Well, you be in the clear because there's no motherfucking fruit in
no,
Pop-Tarts.
but like just thinking about like strawberries and then heating them up, like it just bothers me.
How about strawberry pie?
No, pies are the worst dessert. Why they're even dessert? Like fruit is not dessert. There's so many things that can be desserts.
Yeah.
Fruit is not one of them. Hot fruit should never exist. Fruit isn't made to be hot.
But
never there's never a time where fruit should be warmed up. There's not.
I guess, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
I think it's more like to your liking, but
No, these are facts of the universe. And because some people, they're not the smartest people, they're like, let's take this fruit and stick it in the oven.
see what happens. It becomes like kind of like jelly. It's all right.
It's supposed to be cold.
Okay, look, listen. I'm not a fan of, except for key lime pie. I don't like any.
It's like the worst pie.
I don't like it.
What the hell's a key lime anyway? Is it a special lime?
It's a lime with a key.
Not these limes, but that one. That's the key.
Yeah, that one's the key.
It's a dumb name.
It's a dumb name. Anyways,
what are we talking about?
This movie.
Unfrosted.
Unfrosted.
Yeah, we went to left field there for a minute.
Yeah.
Unfrosted. So there's a couple of like funny moments, I guess. Like, when Hugh Grant takes off the mask when he's Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
Like, that was funny to see him doing it.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
He thinks he's this well-established actor who wants to do, like, Shakespeare, but he's just Tony the Tiger. And how but mistakenly came with the "It's great" slogan.
They're great.
And then to see the guys dressed up as Snack Crackle Pop was, it was funny. Like, and they were all like mad at them. Like, to see an angry Snack Crackle Pop was humorous.
I think the biggest failure of this movie, generally speaking, is that there's a lot of things in it that make for interesting like ideas, and I feel like somebody just sat down and put down the ideas and was like, well, that's good, and nobody cleared that out. Like, it was like, oh, okay, I guess, Tony the Tiger, like the actor, can say they're great, and that's a joke. But this could have been I feel like this movie's too late.
See, I feel like this movie doesn't know what it wants to be. I think it's like we want to be a kid movie, but we also want it to be an adult movie, and I think it fails on both.
Yeah,
like I feel like this should be a kid movie, like that has a couple of adult jokes like snuck in the back,
like Disney does it.
Yeah, like SpongeBob and those kind of days, like those Pixar movies. I think that's what this should have been, because it's not good enough for an adult audience, but it's too bad for a kid audience.
Right. And I look, here's the thing. The best compliment I can pay this movie is I don't hate it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it either.
I wasn't even angry that I watched it.
No, I enjoyed it.
It was very enjoyable. It just felt like an unfinished bunch of ideas.
Yeah, like before we started the podcast today, I had to like really try to remember some things. Like, what actually happened in this movie?
Right.
Like, during the movie, it's enjoyable. But the second it's over, like,
it's over.
You're like, what did I just watch again? What happened there?
So I can point out to a couple of things that were pretty funny to me that jumped out.
Yes, tell us.
Jerry Seinfeld, like, the whole thing is that Jerry Seinfeld and like you said, Jim Gaffigan, like, Jerry Seinfeld's the guy that develops things for Kellogg's, and Jim Gaffigan owns Kellogg's.
Yes.
And they're super fine. They always win every fucking the cereal award every fucking year or whatever. And at some point, they find out that he's driving by posts and there are kids being thrown in the garbage. I thought that shit was fucking hilarious. Just kids being thrown in the giant garbage truck.
It was funny.
Because they're eating like something out of the garbage truck, and it happens to be the quote unquote fruit that fills the Pop-Tart. Right? So Jerry Seinfeld's like, what the fuck is happening? Why are you eating out of the garbage? And then one of the kids gives him to taste the Pop-Tart filling, and he's like, oh my God, we've lost it. We'll never be fucking good again because they have this one thing.
Post beat us.
And turns out they have also very funny, they have a spy in Post that uses a mop to clean, but there's a camera in the mop. So the guy kind of like runs the mop by the floor, not necessarily on the floor, and then lifts it.
Like it's in the executive faces.
Right. And they're all like, why don't you clean the floor and stop putting the mop on my face? But there's literally a camera at the end of the mop.
And it's making like a camera noise like...
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, and then, when they figure out like, oh my goodness, somebody stole our thing. There must be a spy here. And then they cut to the guy cleaning in the conference room with a vacuum cleaner with obviously a camera pointing at them. So I thought that was funny in a 1980s silly joke, throwaway joke that somebody will make, and then the real funny shit comes along.
They should have made that the product. I mean, in the 80s, they have wireless cameras that instantly showed back video.
Well, I mean, they're film cameras, and not necessarily.
I know. They were wireless. There was no wires there, so it was running on something.
Battery.
They had a live feed of what was happening back, in the Kellogg's plants.
That's true.
That's pretty good for 1980s
Yeah.
technology.
1960s technology.
Yeah, man. They were on the wrong product.
So I feel like at the end of the day, I am so, even though I had those chuckles, like those make me chuckle, there is a part where Jim Gaffigan is flirting with Amy Schumer because they want to make this like a Romeo and Juliet thing. Like, doesn't that make it sexy? That they're like super enemies, but they want to kind of fuck each other. And then Jim Gaffigan and her are getting into it, and whomever made the sea monkeys, and the guy from Chef Boyardee, Chef Boyardee, make this experiment, and they create this like monster thing.
It's like, this mutant.
This mutated sea monkey, and it's just flopping around. And I thought that was funny that they were about to like be sexy with each other, not necessarily have sex, but just they're being sexy with each other. And then thing shows up, and then Amy Schumer's like, "I've lost the mood," or whatever she says. It was just like a couple of chuckling jokes that felt like throwaway jokes in a much better movie. Like in an Austin Power movies, they had a lot of jokes like that. They were like throwaway jokes that just happen in a corner, and you're like, yes, keep me laughing every 10 seconds, but like have the real funny shit happen in to fill the time. And that's what this movie fails at doing.
Yeah, the story's not great.
But even that had a great prospect to be great.
It did, but it just wasn't. It fell flat. I feel like they had a little bit of a story, and then they stretched it as far as they could stretch it before it snapped.
Yeah.
Like I think they could have. I mean, with Kellogg's and Post, I think you could have done more with the cereals or like something.
Right, and them really hating each other.
Yeah.
Like more of an Anchorman thing where they're like really fucking going to fight each other.
More of a build up to why we're at this position we're at now. So like that. I read something from Jerry Seinfeld that he said this was supposed to be him entertaining a child. Because in the beginning of the movie, you see Jerry Seinfeld sitting at a counter of a diner. A little kid comes in who ran away from home, and he gets something from the diner, and Jerry Seinfeld's trying to keep his attention so he doesn't leave, and the parents can find him. So this was supposed to be a tale for a child.
Right.
So it's make-believe. So I understand why the story is so limited, because it's a
right, like
it's
you're telling
story
a
for a
kid. Right.
But I'm watching it. I'm not a fucking kid. Like,
but
I want more.
I also think that's why I'm not so angry at it, because I think in that level it really works. Like it really works. Like if you're telling a kid this story and he's imagining the movie, I can see that. And being like, all right, this is how this is gonna be super colorful and kind of silly in a way, because you're telling a kid, so you're making it extra silly. But I also feel like there is the wasted potential of what this movie could
Yeah,
have
I
been that
think-
it wasn't.
I think that's more what I'm upset. Like a movie that has all these stars.
I mean, let's go down the list here.
I mean, you got Seinfeld, got
Yeah.
Christian Slater,
Christian Slater,
Jim Gaffigan,
Jim Gaffigan, Hugh Grant.
Kyle Mooney, Mikey Day.
Come on, man. Patrick
Schumer,
Warburton.
Max Greenfield,
I mean,
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa
this
McCarthy
say.
is like one of the main guys. Is the guy that plays Chef Boyardee
That's what's his name from Saturday Night Live.
from Saturday Night Live.
Horatio Sands.
Horatio Sands is in this. Like, come on, man. Like you're set.
Yeah, there's a ton of funny people in this movie, who are all very, very funny, and there's a couple of like Cedric Santana has a quick
Right.
moment. There's a couple other people. The guy from 30 Rock, I forget his name.
Right. He's in this. What's his name that plays the president? Bill Burr plays
Oh yeah, Bill
JFK.
Burr plays president, which he does fantastic.
He's amazing. He's the best part of this
He
movie.
might be the best cameo appearance in the whole movie.
Because you know he's trying to hold it back because he's Bill Burr. So I'm waiting for him to curse up a storm. But he does curse a little bit, right?
A little
I
bit,
think
yeah.
he drops an F-bomb, I think, in it.
But those little moments are good. But when you put them all together, it doesn't make for a fully satisfying movie.
No. And once again, it's like you said, this could have been a series of competition stories until you get to the Pop-Tart version of it, right? Like the section in the beginning when they're just saying how great Kellogg's is could have been made by showing like more in the same silly form how they came up with the cereal. Not to mention, Kellogg's, the guy that created Kellogg's in real life made it as a medicine to hold back women's desires for sex. Like, isn't that a greater story in itself?
That's a pretty good joke to start off with, at least.
Because it's true. Like, this guy made this for that reason. Like, that should be more of a fucking movie that you will be like, let's make fun of this fucking idiot making cereal just to make people, now women, very specifically women, not have wildings. Like, I don't want her to be sexually attracted to any man. Who wouldn't make that a fucking movie?
And why is that a problem? He felt like it needed to be solved.
Right.
Was there just women having sex all over the streets?
Like, no, it was probably, he was getting none and he was like, you know what, fuck this.
He had a daughter and he's like, fuck his head's
Not
down.
even. I think he was just like, he was super religious and he probably was, nobody wanted him.
Nobody
I'm
wanted
going to
him.
assume.
Well,
The other Kellogg's brothers, there's two of them.
he makes good cereal.
The other Kellogg's brother was like, you have something here that we can make money out of. These stupid fucking women don't want to have sex. Let's leave that. That's for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the thing that you created. I'm going to go make a fucking
We're gonna get a
billion.
couple of cartoons, put flakes in the box.
And I'm going to make $1 billion company out of. Don't you think that's a much better fucking story to tell?
Yeah, but it's not so good for a kid story if that's the angle
Fuck
they're going.
kids. I'm talking about the comedy.
I got the comedy, and they might have been, but I feel like they were going a different way with this guy, and I feel like they just sort of went all the way, and I feel like they went halfway. Like we don't want to lose our adult audience, but we want to bring these kids in. I feel like they should have went a little more.
I also read that Jerry Seinfeld was waiting for the bad reviews of this movie so he can enjoy them. That's not true.
Why? Why would he enjoy them?
That's not true.
Why?
Who enjoys that?
That's what I'm saying. Why would he enjoy that?
I mean, I enjoyed if we got a bad review on something that we've done. I would enjoy that because we get no reviews.
Yeah.
So I'll take the bad one.
I'd rather you talk bad about me than not talk about me at all.
Right. But Jerry Seinfeld doesn't need that. Jerry Seinfeld is fucking mega famous.
Yeah, and I don't think he cares. If they were good or bad, he likes it, and that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
And he's at that right. He's at that point in his life where he's like, I'm gonna make this movie for me.
That's what Adam Sandler does now. He's like,
Yeah.
this is my movie. I don't give a shit if you don't like it.
I
like
still
it.
got paid.
And you're still going to watch it.
Yeah,
Because my
right.
name's on it. Fuck you, Adam Sandler. You got us by the balls.
I feel like there are so many people here in this movie that I was even surprised to see, a lot of SNL alumni.
A lot of SNL. John Hamm.
Oh yeah, John Hamm plays Don Draper essentially, right?
Pretty much.
They can't find a name for the product that they want to make, so they hire Don Draper and his boss to come over and they come back with like a super sexy fucking
Like the opposite of what they would have accomplished if
Right,
they
like-
were trying to stop people from having sex from it.
And I think that was probably Jerry Seinfeld expressing what he felt like, what people were telling him about this movie. It's like, let me get John Hamm to represent everybody else, and I can just walk away with this. Peter Dinklage is in this movie.
Yeah, there's so much. Tony Hale,
Like
George
playing
Wallace.
Peter Dinklage plays like the guy that runs the milk mafia, and it's fucking great. Like everybody in here is great. It's just nothing is amazing about this
Yeah,
movie.
it's a bunch of pieces. Like if it was a Saturday Night Live show and you had all these little skits, it'd be the funniest Saturday Night Live show there's ever been.
Right.
But it's not that. It's a movie.
Actually, it feels more like even more so, it feels like a Saturday Night Live season, right? Like jokes from the season that stand out
Like
because they don't match together. So
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh yeah, this is great.
This is our all-star, greatest hits album.
I think if I think that
Bang bang, chitty wah wah.
yeah,
Ooh ah, I'm a bang with bang.
I think that we can if you watch
We're
this
having trouble
movie,
with words today, huh?
yeah, it's just that it's so hard to speak about this movie because there's nothing to it.
It is. We're stretching it. Just like the plot of the movie. We're really trying to stretch this podcast.
We're trying to make it so that the time's out so that we don't have like a 5-minute podcast.
3-minute podcast on Unfrosted.
After you waited fucking 3 weeks for it.
And 2 of those minutes is 6 coughing.
I know. I'm dying. Allergies suck this year. Don't get them. Whatever you do,
I won't.
just don't do it.
I wasn't gonna.
Well,
Thanks. I won't.
in case you were thinking about it,
Thanks.
don't do it.
I wasn't.
The other thing is that no one here, I think this movie, the person I disliked the most was probably Amy Schumer, unfortunately.
It's harsh. Harsh.
Yeah, I don't know why. I love her comedy. I watched her show when she had the show in Comedy
I
Central.
liked her as a villain. You
loved
don't
her.
usually see her as a bad
Yeah,
guy.
but I feel like, I think that this is just my opinion, and I'm not an actor making millions of dollars.
It's true.
I'm not a comedian making millions of dollars.
not.
So what the fuck do I know?
Nothing.
This is just my perspective as a viewer.
Blurred.
I think she should have played the villain less villainous and more conniving, and it would have made for a much better, like, she's just being mean, and that's it. And that's not necessarily make a bad person just being mean. It just makes a
does.
mean person.
No one likes a mean person.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you a villain. It just
does.
makes you mean.
Well, he was the villain because she was against Seinfeld.
Yeah, but that should be enough for
And
you.
you were cheering for Seinfeld, obviously. So if you're cheering for Seinfeld, you can't be cheering for Schumer as well.
I could be.
You can't be.
I could be, though.
You can't.
But I can.
You can't because then you're rooting for both to do well, but you're also rooting for both to do bad because they both can't win. Only one of them can.
Jack McBrayer plays like a
Jack
guy
McBrayer, that's
that
the
makes
guy.
bicycles. He plays
Schwinn.
Steve Schwinn.
Yeah.
That makes the Schwinn bicycles. And he dies trying to eat the Pop-Tart, the first one, which is great. It's very funny. And then they put him in a box, like they're doing like the whole ceremony for his death, and they're putting them in the ground. And all of the mascots for the cereal come out and they pour cereal.
milk
They
and
pour
cereal.
milk. And that was so fucking silly. But what made that joke for me was the lady that was playing his wife. I forget who it is that plays his wife. It's somebody that I would recognize, obviously, if I saw her. But she does this thing where she's like, what is this? It's like she's so straight in the scene that makes it so much better. She just like gets up and leaves.
Yeah, that's the funny part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the best I can think about this movie. Like, hey, there's some jokes.
There's some jokes. There's some I don't know if you are a fan of comedy and you know a lot of comedians. I think you'll enjoy the movie just by seeing the roles that all these people are playing and how silly they all are. That's kind of what I enjoyed the most. Just like, who's going to be next?
Agreed.
Who's playing another silly, stupid person?
Yeah, agreed.
So that was fun. Not much of a plot. It's a silly. I feel like we're beating a dead horse here.
I know. I feel like the better joke out of that whole movie is that when my father got home, I was building a stand for my movies, and he came in and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What am I doing?"
What are you doing? A stand for your?
Like I was building like a rack.
You
I
have
can
physical movies still?
Yeah, man.
What do you play your physical? Is it like Blu-rays?
Yeah.
You are so old.
I'm not old. Physical media is better.
Who has physical media anymore?
Physical media is better.
Better than what?
Better than fucking streaming.
Why?
Because it looks better, it processes better, it's better.
I just press a button now and it's on.
Yeah,
on
but what if
TV.
you wanted to watch Amadeus?
Then I'd shoot myself. Why would I want to watch that?
What if you want to watch Greaser's Palace with Robert Downey Sr.?
Also, would question my sanity.
So, if, I like my physical media, fuck off. My point is, I'm building this whole thing to put my movies in.
Okay.
And my father gets home, and I'm like carrying like 20 DVDs in my hand that I'm putting in the stands. He comes home and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "The fuck you mean? What am I doing? What the fuck else could I possibly be doing? I have a fucking screwdriver and a drill and pieces of the leftover wood from the same thing on the floor, and I'm putting movies in it. What do you mean? What am I doing?" That was funnier than the whole movie to me, personally. Not that I'm making a joke. It's just that to me that was funnier. Don't look at me like that.
I think we're gonna stop asking you what you think funny is. So, I don't know if the audience knows, but we have an opening for a new co-host here.
Yes, I'm dying.
For the movie. Someone who might know comedy is a little better.
I know comedies. It's just this wasn't a comedy so much.
No,
That's my point.
But you put
Anyways,
a DVD rack together is full of hilarity.
It's not full of hilarity. It's my point. Shut up. Were you laughing though?
Laughing how ridiculous you are.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Anyways, I think stop laughing.
So here with Two Friends and a Movie with Matt and Sixto, we have a system where we rate really good movies and we rate really bad movies.
Mm-hmm.
And we also rate the in-between movies.
That's right.
It goes from 0 toes being trash
Madam Web,
and 6 toes being amazing.
Dune Part 2.
Do you have an opinion on what your toe would be this week, Mr. Toe?
I have an opinion.
What is this opinion?
The truth is, this is a two-toe movie. If you never saw, not because it's bad, because it's not bad, it's because it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
If you never saw it while you were alive, I'm not angry that I saw it. I'm not bothered that I saw it. I wasn't bothered while I was watching it. But if you never saw this movie, you'll be just fine.
It's true.
It's a two-toe movie only because, it has great people in it. They got people that made some excellent portrayals rather than jokes. And there were a couple of jokes in there that were actually chuckling funny. So, Two Toes, quite honestly, if we're going to break it down as a movie, for its plot or whatever, it'd probably be like a 0 toe movie. But it's not what its intention is.
Yeah.
So, Two Toes.
2 toes. I think, and I don't usually agree with you, especially about
What's funny?
what's a funny story and what's not
me
a funny story.
Me putting my fucking DVD thing together. Hilarity.
And then I took the screw and they screwed it right in.
Yeah.
And then they put DVDs on top of it.
What are you doing? Fucking old man.
The other day I brought groceries home
Yeah.
and I had them on the counter.
Yeah.
And Denise came in and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm putting groceries away."
Hilarious. Fucking hilarious.
Toe. That's what we're doing. I think it's 2 toes. I was gonna say 2.5, but I can go down to 2 for the sake of agreement. Yeah, it's a forgettable movie. It's fun while you're watching it, but like I said before, like instantly I forgot what I watched when it was over. But during it, I enjoyed it. I don't remember being bored or be like, oh, I can't wait for this to end. Like, I enjoyed the movie as it played, and I think that's pretty much what he's going for, is enjoy this 90 minutes, and I'll see you later.
And it's short. I mean, when you're going to make a shit movie, make it short.
Yeah. Like, when you have no plot, like, don't drag it on for the sake of dragging it on, like
Right.
this podcast today.
Yeah, we're struggling.
But next week, well, not next week, next podcast, we have a fun special up for you. I just like to say the word special.
Right, okay.
We're going to see Furiosa in the theaters.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come back and speak to you about it.
Yeah.
Sixto is getting a little annoyed at my latest picks of just stupid, silly movies.
Well, I mean,
so we have to go back to the blockbusters and see
I'm
this
not
Mad Max chapter.
I'm not furious. See what I did there?
Ah, you nailed it.
With what you're picking, but I think, and like it's been all right so far, and also like it's nitpicking. We could have gone seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
But I didn't see the other ones. I'd be lost.
Fuck.
I'd be lost. What? Why is there an ape there? I don't know. I didn't see how they got there.
We didn't see Kong X Godzilla.
We didn't see it.
Would they break up?
We did a Gonzalo movie.
A Gonzaga.
A Gonzaga movie already. When they won the championship. No, we've done a Godzilla movie already. I think we've met our quota for a podcast.
Ever. We got to do Godzilla -1. It's becoming available soon.
But we have to do Furiosa.
Yes, I know. We can do Furiosa and then we can do Godzilla
Maybe.
-1.
Maybe.
Which is actually fucking good.
We're putting that in the maybe pile.
I fucking... See, this makes me furious.
Yeah.
Not the fucking 2 movies you picked. This makes me furious.
Why?
Because Godzilla -1 is actually fucking good.
I know, but I can't promise that to our audience today. I'm not prepared to promise that.
Fine. Let's do Furiosa.
After I've already disappointed them, I don't want to do it again.
We're doing Furiosa hopefully next. Maybe. Because we can never promise anything.
Yeah, what is it rating?
And then, what if...
You never know. The weather, man. The weather is unpredictable, as they say.
As they say. And then hopefully we can do like something else. The Wolverine is coming out. Like there's a bunch of shit that's coming out.
Yeah, a bunch of real shit. Like Wolverine.
Yeah, like it's Deadpool, so it might be a little bit more fun to watch.
Yeah,
but
I like Deadpool.
But we'll see what happens. Hey, we're out of here.
Ho!
This might be the shortest podcast we've ever done.
It was one of the worst.
It's one of the worst. This is year 1 level podcasting.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jerry Seinfeld. I'm sorry, Amy Schumer. But we had
Jenny McCarthy, bro.
No.
She's like a co-star of this whole fucking movie.
Jenny McCarthy is not in the movie at all. Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, shit.
This podcast is Melissa McCarthy level.
This is not.
It is. It's terrible. It's overdone. It's too big.
I think she was kind of all right for this movie.
She was not.
She was.
Not.
She's better than she was in like in Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh, so the worst thing in the world. She was slightly better than an awful, awful movie.
Thank you for listening to us. I think we're done here. We're gonna
submit this one for an Emmy, I think.
I think so. I think it's after has been heard, this podcast, it will be well documented that this podcast was the best podcast ever made about Unfrosted.
It's proven fact.
See? Proven fact already.
Put in the books. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yeah.
Please listen again.
Please.
And we'll see you then.
Yeah, man.
Enjoy.
Peace in the Middle East.
In the Middle East and in the whole world.
Yeah.
Not just the Middle East,
Well, I mean,
though.
yeah, I know.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Bye.
Cue the song.
Two friends in a movie. Two friends on a movie. Two friends in 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 a movie. With Madison Stowe. With Sister and Matt. With Madison Stowe. With Sister and Matt. With Madison Stowe. Madison Stowe. Madison Stowe. Two friends in a movie. Two friends in a movie. Two friends in a movie.